Good evening, everyone. We are so happy to have you here with us tonight. This is the fourth Sunday evening of the month, which is set aside for our young men to conduct the worship service. Tonight, we'll be doing things a little bit differently than usual. Instead of what we would consider a typical worship service, we want to use this time to tell you a little bit about what Central's youth ministry has been involved with the past 2 months. As you may have noticed, members of this congregation's youth ministry have been gone a good bit here lately. And so as the summer draws to a close, we want to let you know what all we've been doing, both here in Athens and in other cities. I believe it's important for us to do this occasionally. While we try to keep everyone informed about what's going on through the bulletin, the website, and emails, we still understand that many times people are not aware of all the activities that this church enables us to do. I speak for our teenagers and adult youth workers when I say thank you for the many opportunities that you do give us. Folks, we have a wonderful group of teenagers, and I consider myself so very fortunate to be working with them. Their maturity and enthusiasm, coupled with their desire to grow further, inspires me more than they will ever know, and I hope it inspires you as well. That's why I want to not only thank you because you are all contributing to their growth as godly men and women, but also show you just how they are developing with your help. Our purpose tonight is to share with you some of the things that this congregation's youth ministry has been involved with over the summer months. We have been incredibly busy, but God's been working in the lives of our young people and using them to work in the lives of others. Over the next few minutes, I want to talk to you about some of the highlights of the summer. Let some of our teenagers tell you about how these events impacted their lives. The first big event came right at the beginning of summer. 1 or 2 days, depending on what school you went to after graduation, we had several of our youth participate in the mission trip to Ghana, West Africa, which most of you have already heard a great deal about. Now, I don't want to go back over the same things that have already been said. Instead, I want to focus mainly on how this trip affected the teenagers who went. You all have seen pictures from Ghana showing how the majority of Africans live. You know basically what we do when we get over there, and hopefully you understand why this work is important. Some of you perhaps have even thought about participating in a trip over there one day. Now, it's cliche to say this, but a mission trip to any developing country is a life-changing experience. You come back with a greater appreciation for what you have and a deeper understanding of how fortunate you are to live in the United States of America. You may have some questions. You may question why God has blessed you or why God has not blessed other people. So many new ideas come into your field of vision, and you see the world through a different set of lenses. Now, I want you to think back to high school. What was on your mind? What were your priorities? Depending on your age, some of you were thinking of war and the possibility of fighting on the front line somewhere, whether it was as a volunteer or a draftee. But my guess is that the majority of people in this room had much less serious things on their minds. You were thinking about football and cheerleading, test scores and getting into college. You're going on dates and enjoying the life of someone who is yet to step into what we call the adult world. Now imagine that you had an opportunity to be thrust into the most adult of worlds, and that one that presented challenges as serious as challenges come. How do you think that might have affected your outlook on life? How do you think your priorities might have changed? What do you think you might have done differently? The teenagers who went on this trip, I think, are very fortunate in that they have already, at a relatively young age, experienced something that most American adults will never experience. They've been given opportunities to minister in areas so different from their homes that they've had to put their trust in God and God alone to make them competent, as Paul said, to be ministers of the gospel. We got back from Ghana, and within just a few days, we're ready to go to Impact at Lipscomb University. Impact is basically a week and a half long summer camp that takes place on the campus of Lipscomb University. They have a 4-day camp for the junior high students and a 6-day camp for the senior high students. Now, to be honest, Impact is very production-oriented. They have lights, they have great song leaders, they have huge screens for PowerPoints, they have drama, they have big-name speakers like Jeff Walling, and they have a lot of fun games that you get to participate in. But they also make a very serious attempt to teach teenagers valuable lessons that they can use throughout the year. Now, I tell our teens at the beginning and at the end of each week that the feelings and emotions that they have at Impact are only temporary. Yes, I mean, you're going to get on what they call a spiritual high this week, but it won't last. I try to explain to them that Satan's going to try to trick them into thinking that because they come back and don't get that warm, fuzzy feeling every week that something's wrong with them. The truth is that Impact is a marvelous opportunity for our teens to grow closer to God and to get a glimpse, regardless of how small, but a glimpse of what heaven will be like. And I encourage them to use that glimpse to motivate them when they come back to Athens, because after all, heaven is what we're all working toward. Brayley Chambers is going to come up now and explain what exactly he thought, this being his first year to attend Impact.
This is my first year to attend Impact, and I've heard a whole lot of different things from a lot of the senior high guys the past couple of years. A couple of things is I heard that Impact was very inspirational and very moving. I thought Impact would just change me completely. When I got there, I realized that it wasn't exactly what I thought it was. I thought Impact was almost magical. It turns out that Impact is really just a small taste of what heaven's really going to be like. Impact opened my eyes and made me see what kind of person I was and how I could be better. In that way, it brought me closer to God. It also brought me closer to other members of the youth group because it helped us see each other in the same way that we saw ourselves. Impact has opened my eyes to the opportunities that exist here in Athens to build a stronger relationship with the Christians here and to share Christ's love with the world around me. Impact is awesome, and I can't wait to go back next year.